Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Taylor Swift, and we're going to talk about Post Malone, and we're going to talk about Fortnite. All right. So, I think it's about 2 months ago, Taylor Swift released a video with Post Malone, and the name of the video is Fortnite, and it is a visual video that accompanies the song, the audio song Fortnite. And Post Malone and Taylor Swift worked together to make the video and the audio song, right? And the reason why we're talking about today is I believe if you look carefully at the video Fortnite by Taylor Swift and Post Malone, you will see that there are 50 to 100 references to Dungeons and Dragons, and that Fortnite was specifically made. It was made for two purposes. It was made to function as a Taylor Swift song, and it was made to function as a Taylor Swift video. Taylor Swift has a huge following, and she needs to serve up content to them, and she did that with Fortnite. And I think a regular Taylor Swift, a Swiftie, can watch this video and not understand that it's about Dungeons and Dragons at all. All of the references to Dungeons and Dragons in Taylor Swift's Post Malone Fortnite video are subtextual. Okay, it's all subtext. And the text is, "Hey, Swiftie video," right? So, but if you know Dungeons and Dragons, and I certainly do, you can't look at a single frame and not see Dungeons and Dragons written over the entire video. It's astonishing how much subtext to Dungeons and Dragons is in the video. You're like, wait a second, Scott, why on earth would Taylor Swift make a video that's fundamentally about Dungeons and Dragons? Well, there's a very good reason for it. And I always tell you here, I'm not going to bury the lead. Guess what? I'm going to bury the lead on this one. You're not going to hear it in this video. And I'm probably going to do, and my plan is to do as many videos as are necessary to cover the Dungeons and Dragons references in Taylor Swift's Post Malone's Fortnite video, right? And then at the end of that, once I've shown all the references and talked about everything I need to with the video, I'll explain why I think Taylor Swift did a video about Dungeons and Dragons with Post Malone. Okay. All right. So I want to make sure you understand. I believe that Taylor Swift with Post Malone made a video about Dungeons and Dragons and coded the video from top to bottom in virtually every single frame, in close to every single frame of the video has some D&D reference. Okay. And so I believe that there's information in the video that says, hey, if you know Dungeons and Dragons, pay attention. This is for you. This entire video is about Dungeons and Dragons subtextually. Okay. And so this is a video is about Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. And this video has a message about Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. A message to the world, a message to the muggles of the world who don't understand Dungeons and Dragons. There's a message for them. And then there's a message for people who do know Dungeons and Dragons, who are Dungeons and Dragons performers. Dungeons and Dragons performers includes both Dungeon Masters and Dragon Masters, in my humble opinion. So, and then finally, there's a reason Taylor Swift did this video and coded it with all this Dungeons and Dragons information. And all of that is in the video very clearly, in my humble opinion, if you understand Dungeons and Dragons very clearly. If you've never played Dungeons and Dragons, or you don't even know what Dungeons and Dragons is, which is the majority of the world, most of the world thinks Dungeons and Dragons is a board game, which is not correct. We learned that when Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves came out. A lot of reviewers were like, "What is this? It's a video game. It's a board game." No one, like in the real world, like the Muggle world, not the wizard world we live in, they have no idea what Dungeons and Dragons is. That's hard to understand. It's hard to accept, but it's true. All right, so let's talk about so today I'll give you the first piece of information that is evidence, in my humble opinion, that this entire video is coded through and through with Dungeons and Dragons references, containing a message to the Muggle world about Dungeons and Dragons, containing a message to our Wizard world about Dungeons and Dragons, and contains the reason why Taylor Swift made this video about Dungeons and Dragons, Fortnite. Okay, all right. So here's the first piece of information. So link below, you can watch the video. Okay, it's fantastic. It's a banger song, banger video. I love it. It does function as a Taylor Swift song, air quotes. Okay, all right, and it's Taylor Swift video, right? Okay, everything you would see in another Taylor Swift video is there, but there's subtext of Dungeons and Dragons throughout. So when is the first time you should absolutely like perk up and your ears should shoot up like a rabbit hearing a wolf, right? Okay, so it's the first part of the video shows Taylor Swift in, today we would call it a mental health facility. I think it used to be they would call it an asylum. So this building where she's not free to come and go, right? She's literally trapped because she's trapped, okay? And so you see her, and then she looks like Taylor Swift. Then there's another part of the video where she sits down, she looks the camera full in the face, and she takes a wet cloth and she wipes off the right side of her forehead. And when she wipes off the right side of her forehead, it's very specific. It says D, D, D and D. There's a D and a D right on her forehead, saying, hey, this is about D and D. It's right here, directly on my forehead. This whole video is about Dungeons and Dragons, D and D. It's right here on my forehead. That's the start of it. There's so many references in this, and all of these are here. It's coded information to say this video is about Dungeons and Dragons. Now once you've seen that through a whole bunch of frames and a whole bunch of references, now we're going to get to the part where I show you what the message I have to the Muggle world is about Dungeons and Dragons, what the message I have to the Wizard world is about Dungeons and Dragons, and then finally we're going to talk about why Taylor Swift did this, why she made a video about Dungeons and Dragons, in my humble opinion. Every single word you just heard was my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like, subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.